I remember one night when I caught our oldest daughter, who was about 8 years old at the time, and she was choking her little sister, who was about 4. They were fighting over some toy or whatever. And I remember setting them down on the bed, and I explained to them the incredible pain that I had over the way I treated my siblings when I was growing up. My parents never really elevated being unkind to each other in our home to an absolutely unacceptable behavior. Now, of course, I got punished for being mean to my siblings. I was the firstborn of 3 boys, and because I was older and I was stronger, I could pretty much dominate my younger brothers. And yet, we were a Christian family. We went to church every time the doors were open. In fact, every sermon I ever heard on brotherly love and love your brother, I thought that meant everyone except my own siblings. Okay, how sad. But as again, we were kind of normal. We weren't allowed to really hit each other in the face, but we could hit each other almost anywhere else. And how crazy that is. But as growing up, I really never knew that I had any responsibility to mentor or to build up my siblings. I just didn't realize I had any responsibility. And it wasn't until I went off to college that the Lord really began to do a work in me. And I began to see that Satan owns this disconnect among siblings. And really, it's the parents who can set the standard for what is allowed in their home. You know, there are certain behaviors in our family that are so unacceptable, our children have never even attempted it, like trying to burn the house down. We've not had a single attempt. That is so unacceptable, right? Yet, for whatever reason, we live in a culture that says it's okay to treat each other as siblings with unkindness. And yet, the enemy has used that throughout the millenniums to bring about some of his greatest killing, stealing, and destroying. The first murder was between 2 brothers, Cain and Abel. The disconnect between Ishmael and Isaac, Abraham's 2 sons. And then the multiple generations now that are still living that out. Really, the enemy wants to do his best to keep siblings at odds with each other and keep us from resolving our conflict. And so what I would say to you is that I would ask you to pass this law that in this family we're going to treat each other better than our best friend. And then if our children aren't characterized by doing that, then there are 2 things you can do that will absolutely bring about this healing of relationships in your home. Number 1, your children should not be allowed to have friendships outside the family until they can show that they can build good relationships with their siblings inside the family. That is a surefire way to help your children change the way they've been trained or the way they've thought, even if your family in the past has been characterized by really being unkind to each other, or making jokes at each other's expense, or being sarcastic with each other. The thing you can do to totally bring about and stop this bickering among your siblings is to pass this new law. That this is the new standard. This is we're going to all everyone in the family is going to hold each other to be accountable to treating each other better than your best friend, and you really can bring an end to sibling bickering.